Okay, we're going to retread a tire a little bit here on this video, but I think that it is worth bringing back up again and kind of putting a fresh coat of paint onto. A lot of car analogies that I'm using so far in this video. We're going to talk about how a Surface Duo 3, that rather than being two independent screens as we currently have on Duo and Duo 2, one that is going to be presumably a single folding OLED, how that device could not only work, but could still emulate, maybe we could say, the dual screen experience in a way that is strong enough to differentiate itself from the plethora of folding OLED screens in a way that could still kind of make it truly a Surface Duo while only having a single screen. And to do this, we need to very, very quickly compare and contrast between Duo and something like the Fold 4. So with the Galaxy Z Fold 4, which is what I'm using here, and I swear if one more person tells me that this is clearly a Fold 3 because my camera is black, I may just, I don't know what I'll do, but this is a Fold 4, trust me. That is the setting, and good luck. Anyways, on the Fold 4, the default behavior is like it is on any other device. When you open up an application, whatever it might be, like the Play Store, it's going to open it up in a full screen setting. That is the default behavior. The secondary behavior is to grab an app and drag it onto the screen to split screen. Now, if we rotate this thing around in this direction, this becomes quite a nice multitasking experience. Now, there is one really big problem here. Your gestures, swiping to go back on either screen, is dependent upon the last used app. So if my last used app was YouTube, even if I swipe back to go home on the left side, YouTube will go back, and in this case, going back would actually close the app. So those are the two biggest distinctions about the Fold 4 when comparing to Surface Duo. The default action is full screen. Let's call that spanning, right? Let's imagine that there is an invisible partition down this screen, right? So the default behavior is to span. The secondary behavior is to split screen, and gestural navigation is not dependent upon the last application used. Now, on Duo 2, to very quickly demonstrate this, imagine, if you will, that this is a single folding OLED screen, and I'm going to let you visualize this very clearly here in just a moment. The default action is to open the app in split screen in that view, and the secondary action is to span it, right? So that is how this works. And now, of course, on Duo or Duo 2, the gestural navigation is not dependent upon the last app used. It is dependent upon the side of the screen that you are using it. Now, I'm going to pull out something that I think is going to help us visually kind of demonstrate what I'm getting at here. And it is a laptop dock, or a lap dock by UPerfect, that I'm going to plug my Duo into, and it's going to kind of give us the illusion of a single screen Surface Duo 3. Okay, so this is the lap dock here. We're going to power this thing on, and we're going to plug our Surface Duo 2 into it. Unfortunately, we have to leave the Duo 2 like partially open for this to work, but there we are. We are now displaying on this screen. Let's go ahead and fold this back so that you can see it more clearly, and we'll zoom in. Okay, as I have said on this channel before, for all intents and purposes, this is precisely how Android sees Surface Duo and Duo 2. Android does not see a hinge in the middle of this device, okay? It just doesn't. So the software that makes this work, and again, if I launch an app, it's going to launch it in split screen on that side of the screen, again, contrasting against this, where it launches the app in full screen as the primary function. This is the primary function. It is simply split screening and leaving half the screen open so you can launch another app. Likewise, if you, I guess YouTube probably makes more sense. If you span that app in the middle, you go full screen. So hopefully you can understand this. We're just simply switching what the default action is from being full screen to being split screen. And again, just like I demoed on Duo itself, if we go into a thing here, let's go into GTA Chinatown Wars. If I swipe back to go home on that side, I guess I should do it over here. If I swipe back over here, the gestures are going to be dependent upon what side it is on. So all of this works, in my mind, fairly well, even though there's no physical hinge down the middle. This software could be exactly like this on a single-screened Surface Duo 2, and it would behave effectively identically to a Surface Duo 1 or 2, but it would give us I think the fairly large benefit of being able to take a video and span that thing and go full screen. And now we have a multimedia experience that is more similar to, or just as good as, what we have on a device like this. I think for me, the biggest question is going to be in actual usage, right? You're actually using this device. Does the lack of a physical partition between those two virtual screens have any real world impact on the way that I use the device? And at this point, I will tell you, I would lean towards no, but I'm not 100% on that because I've simply not tested it yet. And I can tell you that for me, it continues to be surprising how differently I use my Z Fold versus my Duo 2, right? These two devices are different. And when I pick one of them up versus the other, I behave differently. Would that software be enough to make me behave the same as I do on my Duo 2 on a single-screened Duo 3? I just don't have that answer because I've not experienced it yet. Now, of course, there are other things, right? There are other factors about Duo 2 that people really do like. They like the aspect ratio of the screens, the shorter, wider screens. We're going to want to have that. They like the fact that it can go into tint mode and things like that to watch video content. We are almost certainly, like 99.999%, we are losing that functionality. So a kickstand or something like that is going to be necessary on the back of that device. We're going to talk about this stuff more in later videos, but for this video alone, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. How can Duo 3 do enough to differentiate itself via software alone against competitors like the Z Fold 4? Is that enough? Is what I've just described to you that they could relatively easily bring over? Is that enough to differentiate itself from these competitors? I don't know. You guys can talk about this in the comments down below, but that I think is going to be a really big hurdle for Microsoft to jump, because if you're looking at Duo 3 or whatever this thing might look like and you're trying to decide between that and a Z Fold 5 or the Pixel Fold that will surely be out by then, I certainly hope, they're going to have to do something to differentiate themselves, because currently they are differentiated. They have two screens. They're going to lose that. So the software has to pick up that slack. And, look, guys, the software has not been great yet. It's going to have to get great really, really quickly. And stuff like this is going to have to make a big difference. Let's talk about it in the comments down below. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more content like this, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.